Okay, so what is the first thing is the founder. So since we are going to learn about Python, founder of Python, Guido van Rossum. So he is the founder of Python. So in the Varsho, which year? It was released in the year 91. Right, 1991 was the year it got released. Right. Third one is, what are the key features of that language? So why is the key features very important? In Padingna, every language has a special thing. Okay, now Python is very popular. Everybody wants to use Python. So we have to know what makes Python so special. Why is everybody asking for Python? Specifica, why is every company asking for Python? So that is why I'm saying key features of a programming language is very important for you to know that. Because in an interview, see, when you're going first, you have to understand the concept of interview, guys. So normally when you're applying for a job, so your interview process will be on three bases, three rounds. This is like a normal interview process. The first will be an online exam. Okay, your online exam, once you complete it, the second round will be an technical interview. Okay, online exam, at least we can, adjust something and we will be clearing. But the second round, which is your technical round, is very, very important, because there they will be asking you so many different questions. So you should be able to answer all those questions clearly. And anywhere, okay, in between anything, if you don't know the answer, please be frank. Tell them, I don't know. Don't try to cover up. This I have seen in many cases happening. You try to cover up by giving some other answer, this, that, and all, but that fellow will not like it. So if you are not sure what the correct answer is, please tell him, sir, I don't know. That always remember very clearly. And another important point is all your resumes. Your resume, see, you all are freshers. Okay, you're just right now completing your college. You're going to go out of your college. So please do not prepare your resume for 4 pages, 3 pages, and all. No, your resume should be maximum of 1 or 2 pages, at most 2 page, never more than that. Don't put too much of information in your resume. I think tomorrow from my office they will be coming. They will tell you about the guidance of a resume. So please make sure that your resumes are pakka. Okay, it should be very, very clear. Right. And as I was telling you, in your technical round, they will ask you questions like ask you to write a program also. Okay, they will give a pen and paper. All your technical interview will be only pen and paper, especially when you're going for an off campus. Okay, so they will ask you, write the logic, write the program, in the sense, not the whole program. They will just ask you to write the logic. Okay, for example, if I am telling, find the greatest of three numbers. So you don't have to write right from the beginning, hash include, stdio. No, no, not all those things. You just have to write the logic of what is going to happen. So like that, they may ask you questions. Right. The second thing is, they may ask you about algorithms. Okay, they may ask you to write what is the algorithm for this, or how to go about it. Tell me the steps how to write this particular program. So like that, they may ask you questions. Third one is, they will ask you theoretical questions about that paper. So any programming language you say you're comfortable. So in your resume, when you are going to put programming languages, please put only the language that you know very clearly. If you're putting C, C++, Java, Python, everything, they will ask you questions in all those. So it is very difficult for us to prepare everything. So take any one language, be 100% confident in that. That is what is very important. So that is why I am going to equally train you in theory also and in practical also. So we are going to give importance to both, especially more important to the practical thing, because that is very, very important. Okay, see, lot of people are scared, afraid to write programs. They think it is very, very difficult. And that too, if you are not from CSE or if you are not from IT, they think, no, no, it is very difficult. We are not computer science students. so we don't know how to write program. Nothing like that. So actually to say, you guys who are from ECE, Triple E, you guys are all more good in programming than CSE or IT. I will tell you the reason, because you work in electricals, electronics. So these things you have to apply lot of logics. So in programming, that is what is going to help you. Programming is fully based on logical thinking, how you are going to think about it. So that is why I'm saying any non-IT students, especially from Triple E or ECE, you guys will be very good in programming. Only thing is we have to put little bit more effort, because for us, they don't give us practicals and all. At college, no one, they will give you some 10 programs. You will learn only that 10 programs. So that is why our problem is. So we have to break that out and come. So don't first, it's first class. I just want to tell you, be confident. Don't think that we cannot do it and all. And especially you have chosen Python. Python is very easy when compared to other languages. If you are learning C or if you are learning Java, for a non-IT student, it is little difficult. Yes, I will not say it is very easy. It is little difficult, that's all. Python, you don't have much of a syntax. The rules of Python are very, very simple. So that is why it is a very easy language for any person to learn. I will tell you frankly, you won't believe me. I am taking class for 10 year students teaching Python. 10 years, 11 years, 12 years. Kids, not even students, they are kids, school kids. They are learning Python, they are doing programs. Then you guys can do anything. So first, don't be afraid of programming language. Python is an excellent choice. Be confident. Let us go inside. Right. So as I was telling you, Gudjo van Rossum, the founder, 1991, the year it was released. Right. So now, what are the key features of Python? See, when I talk about Python, I can use Python in different ways. Right. So what do you mean by in different ways or in different areas? Why is this so popular? That is what we are going to deal with now. Okay, what we are going to learn is that only. Right. So now versions. See guys, one thing you have to know whenever you are learning Python is Python comes majorly in two versions. There is a 2-point series, there is a 3-point series. So these are the two versions of Python that we have to know about. 2-point is entirely a different version. 3-point is an entirely different version. That is 2.1, 2.2 like that. There are small minor versions also. Same way 3.1, 3.2, 3.3. Now 3.9 is there. So like that, 3-point versions are there. So both are not compatible with each other. So that is one thing you have to very clearly remember. So 2-point version has a separate syntax. Even though it is Python, the syntaxes, the functions available, everything is little different in the 2-point versions, and everything is different with the 3-point version. Both are not compatible with each other. What we are going to learn is 3.9. Okay, so because we always have to go for the latest versions, so what we are going to learn is the 3-point versions. Right, so in 3-point we are going to go for 3.9 versions. Right, so now what is this version and why is the version so important? So first thing you have to know is every version, okay, every version they create, they will be doing some updations. So what is the importance of the version is, first time they founded Python. So when they started working with the language, they felt, okay, something more can be added to it. So they will add that, and what to do with that? They will release it as a new version. They are going to release it as a new version. So every version of Python is having some new features added to it. So the reason why I'm telling you this is, there are some functions. Okay, there are some predefined functions that are available. So which will be working in certain versions and which will not be working in some other versions. So that is why the versioning concept is very important. So when we are going to make use of that function, we should have an idea whether that will be available for us or not. Okay, that is point number one. Point number two, why I'm stressing on this is when you're going for an online exam. Okay, you're going to go, say, suppose you're having the TCS interview coming off. So TCS will give you their own platform. Online compiler will be there. So in their online compiler, you will type the program, you will submit the program. So over there, when you're choosing Python, make sure what version of Python it is having, because your function, what you're going to write, should be working at that time. Okay, suppose you are writing the logic, then the function is not supported, it is not working, then it will become a problem. So that is why version is very important. So whenever you're going for any language, so make sure you see what version of it is. Mostly in all the companies, they will be giving you only the latest version. Okay, no one will give you older version. So everybody will be giving only the latest version. So just for a checking purpose, make sure that it is there. Right. Now, the next point is, this was actually asked in one of the interview. Okay, so that is the reason why I have added this point also. So Python, how did it got the name Python? See, Python is a very, Python, all we know is it's a snake. It's a kind of a snake. That's all. But why did that person name a programming language as Python? Reason behind it is there was a TV show called Monty's Python's Flying Circus. So the founder of Python, that is Van Rossum, was a very great fan of this program. He used to love this comedy show a lot. So that is why he just named the language after this show. He was dedicating the language to this particular show. So he named the language as Python. So after the show, he just named his language also as Python. So just have this in mind. So any programming language you take, okay. So first you take C. Why did they give the name C? They gave the name C because it was developed, the previous language from where it was taken was a B language. So from B language, they developed a language, so they called it as C. Same way when you say C++. So same C was there. With that C, they added some new features called as OOPS. So that is why they called as C++. So they added some new features, those they said plus plus. So same way, every language has an history. Just get to know why the name was given. So it will always help you out. Right. So the next point, as I was telling you, reason is why I should learn Python. You guys are now learning Python. So every time you should know why you are learning this. One, every one of us know job reason. So we all do it for the job because now in the industry, Python is a programming language which is offering the best salary, a good salary package. That is what every one of us want. So that is one reason why you're learning your Python. So some people learn it to just upgrade their skill. So I already know C, C++, Java, and also I want to know Python also. So like that, they just want to have another thing. Our main agenda now is to prepare ourselves for the job orientation. So that is why we are going with Python. Right. So as I was telling you, the key features of any programming language, this is very, very important. You should definitely know about this. So why Python is so popular? Why is every company asking for Python? The first reason is it is a very simple programming language. Very simple programming language. What do you mean by simple? See, let us say any programming language I'm going to write, the first program, what everybody will ask you to do? Hello world program. So write a hello world program. Okay, fine. I will write it. So now when you take C language, first thing you have to add the header file. Then we have to have the main function. Then we will call the print function. Then I have return 0, these things. So I will write the hello world like this. So when I take Java, yes, again, I have to have a class, then the main function, then the print statement. So I cannot directly use anything. So now when I talk about Python, just one single line of code is enough. That is why I say Python is simple. The reason is compared to other languages, it does not have lot of rules and regulations. No, it is very simple to use. It's a very free form of language. Just like our English, just like how I speak English, I can write the Python code. So that is the major advantage of that language, right? So let me tell you about another small program. My program agenda is to find the sum of two numbers. That is, I want to add two numbers and print the result. Again, in Java, in C, you can see so many lines of codes are there, but in Python, I can complete this task in 2 lines. First, I will create a variable, assign the value, then print it, add it, print the result. That's it. Just 2 lines of code. So that is why, again, the first point of Python, which is nothing but simple. Right. So now the second feature, readable. So now what do you mean by this readable? Right. We'll simply see this. We'll take an example of this program itself. You just see a normal person, okay, who does not know any programming language. If I ask that person to see this program, what will he understand? Something called public, something called class, add, what is all these things, he doesn't know. But the same thing, if he sees this line, so a comma b is equal to 10 comma 20, print. The word is very simple, everybody knows it's English word. You know what you mean by print. So the chances of him to understand this piece of code, that is any person who is not at all from a computer background, I'm just saying a layman, even if he sees this line of code, he can understand something from it. So that is what you mean by readable codes. So it is very, very easy for beginners to understand the language. So that is another important feature of Python. It makes the language very easy for a fresher, for a new person, for a beginner to learn and understand it. Right. So now the third point is freeware and open source. So now these two are some very, very important words. So what do you mean by freeware? Free, as we know the term, right? The software is absolutely free, no cost for it. See, I sent you guys a link. I asked you guys to download and install the software. So, did you guys pay anything for it? No. You simply went to that thing, you click the download, you downloaded the code, it got downloaded, and you installed it in your laptop or in your system. So there is absolutely no charges for using that particular software. So that is what you mean by the word freeware. So freeware is a software which is available for free, no cost, no payments. You may ask, ma'am, other languages are also like that. No, not every language is free. Simple to say, when you want to, use Microsoft Visual Studio, you have to pay for it. It's a licensed software. We call that as a licensed software. You want to use Oracle, it is again a licensed software. So for having that software to run it in a corporate world, see, I'm not talking about just an individual person. For a company point of view, if I want to make use of it, I have to pay for it. So unlike that, my Python is a freeware. That is the first point. The second point is open source. See, normally people confuse freeware and open source. When they say freeware and open source, it means that everything is free. No. Freeware means free. Open source means what is? See, Python is a programming language. For creating that programming language also, they would have used some programming language. Code will be there. Programming codes will be there. How they created Python, how the Python works. For that, the source code will be there. You can actually access the source code. That is what you mean by open source. So the code that